Having an accurate equipment list is also critical to make sure that any sort of equipment type profile information we want to establish, we can do in Operations Center and not always have to do from the display. So if we need to add tractors or combines, different implements like our headers or tillage tools, things like that, we can do that in Operations Center. So again, saving us time, not have to enter it into the display. So to do this, we're going to go to Setup and we're going to go to our Equipment application. So within equipment, we'll have our machines, our implements, and then our different devices, possibly on those connected machines, and then displays and receivers also. So within machines, here's our current list. Anything that we have as a machine kind of being that self-propelled unit is actually going to be what a machine is. So within here, we want to keep an accurate list. If there's anything in here we aren't using anymore, so say maybe the 4450, we've retired from any sort of row crop or display receiver type applications, we can select it and then archive that machine. So once it's archived, it won't populate in that list anymore. Same thing with our implements. So implements are things that we're going to pull, we're going to mount on a machine to actually get a job done. Our headers, tillage tools, grain carts, planters, that sort of equipment would be an implement. So let's start by adding a machine. So we're going to go ahead and go to Add. And there's a few different ways to add machines. So if it's a JD-Link enabled machine, there's a terminal or a modem that goes along with that machine that we need to make sure is transferred. And that's what brings along the connectivity that we get through JD-Link. So how we can remote or how can we talk to that machine and that sort of information through JD-Link. So if I have a machine that I believe is JD-Link enabled, so here I have an 8320R, it's a 2016 that we want to add to our list. It's actually going to auto-populate it. And what we're going to do is we're going to request the transfer of this machine. So this terminal is sitting in an account right now. If it's something that just possibly came from us, it could be sitting in our parent account. We just need to transfer that terminal for you. If it's something you bought on auction or somewhere else, I mean, there's a lot of different avenues to obtain equipment anymore. So if you need to pull in that machine, we can put that serial number in. It'll do a transfer request to that customer's account or that dealer's account, and then they have 14 days to get that transferred to you. So it will still populate in your account. So anything you need to do, like setting up any work plans, any maintenance type things, you can't do that yet until that terminal is fully transferred with it. Now, I don't want to complete this transfer request in this scenario, so we're just gonna go ahead and add a manual equipment. So if we have a machine that's not going to be JD-Link enabled, we're not connecting to that machine from that standpoint, we can say we don't have a serial number, and we just type that name in. So maybe I'm adding a gator into my system, so I can go out and do some mapping of boundaries and things like that. So I'm just going to call it my gator, and we'll put in a model. So when we put in gator, we get a lot of different models that'll pre-populate. Maybe I say, well, it's an 835i. We'll grab our model, whatever we wanted to search off of, it'll populate, then we can go and add that equipment. So whether it's tractors, combine sprayers, all that information, this is where we want to go ahead and add it to our list. I'll hit done as I don't have any other equipment to add. Now I can come into my implements. So if I had an implement to add, say a tillage tool, which I can see I have a 2660 VT on my left, but maybe I have a larger tool that I actually want to add also. So maybe I have two of them in my fleet. So let's go 2660 VT, and this is a 33-foot tool is how we're going to name it. So model. Put in our 2660 VT. And we'll go ahead and select that 2660, and we'll go ahead and add that equipment. From here, again, no additional to add. If there was, we could run through that process again. But now here's this 2660 VT 33-footer. So maybe this one is a 26-footer. So I can go ahead and select it, and we can edit at the bottom right. And I can say this is the 26-footer. So now with these, I got my 26 60, 33 footer. Let's go ahead and get into our characteristics and we can start inputting our offsets in. So offsets are critical to documentation, even some auto track if we're doing some implement guidance type applications. So any offsets we populate in Operations Center, they will auto populate then in our display. So if we came in and we measured everything out, I'm going to just throw numbers in for this purpose, but anything we put in here that we actually measure, they will then be in that display and that profile set up ready to go. So if we especially think about things that we're doing section control applications with, so our planters or sprayers, liquid fertilizer tools, if there's any modification we do of offsets, either in season, at the start of the season, anything like that, let's make sure we update those offsets in Operations Center so all of those things are pre-populated the next time we need that machine to do its job. So we're done, we can hit save, and all of that information is saved within that equipment profile then. Now with devices, this is where we're gonna see things like our displays that are possibly connected, some receivers or JD-Link modems, anything that are connected on any sort of JD-Link type enabled machine, we can populate in here. So helpful from a standpoint of understanding what software versions we're on, and even with a lot of different growers, they have multiple displays, multiple receivers, trying to figure out which one with what activations or licenses are on what machine, what Starfire receivers partnered with what machine. This helps understand that information. Just like this instance, I can tell that this display here next to me, that's tied to my pickup modem, that's this one right here. So information like that, helpful from devices. So that's our equipment application, again, where we manage all of these machines and implements, so we're ready for this next growing season.